जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी। यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना।
यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना।
यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी। वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी। यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना।
यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना।
यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
यमुना तीरवनचारी
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tado jayamudhirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Hare Krishna, welcome to all. Today we are going to discuss 6th chapter summary. In the previous session, we have discussed about how Narada Muni could detect the deficiency in Vyasadeva for his dissatisfaction in spite of doing all good works. Also, Narada Muni explained about his previous birth and activities and how he got attracted to the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. At last, in the 5th chapter, Narada Muni concluded the prime solution to all the problem is to broadcast the spotless glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. This will satisfy you and all the people in the world. This is the instruction Narada Muni gave it to Vyasadeva. After hearing this, Vyasadeva, being a disciple of Narada Muni, he was very anxious to know more about Narada Muni's previous activities. How he got this body, transcendental body. He wanted to follow the same footsteps of his guru. Therefore, Vyasadeva asked Narada Muni, "Oh Narada, what did you do after receiving the transcendental knowledge from the Bhakti Vedantas? How did you pass your life? How did you get this spiritual body which is full of bliss, happiness, knowledge and eternity, giving up the old body, material body? How is it possible for you to remember your previous activities which happened the previous day of Brahma, still remain fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time? In general, whatever activity we perform, we forget. What we have done last month, we don't remember. Then what to speak of previous birth? That also many crores of years, previous day of Brahma. Each day of Brahma consists of 864 crores of years. But Narada Muni remembered everything what happened in his previous life. He was son of maidservant, Narada Muni. But how did he get this spiritual body? How he became Narada? Vyasadeva wanted to know. Therefore, Vyasadeva asked this question to Narada Muni. Narada Muni responded to Vyasadeva, "My dear Vyasa, after imparting me the transcendental knowledge, the sages, the Bhakti Vedantas have left for another place because the 4 month of Chaturmasa was over. Therefore, the sages started going to a different place. He received the knowledge. Narada Muni received the transcendental knowledge from the Bhakti Vedantas. He was the only maidservant, only son of his mother, who was very poor, and maidservant, very simple woman. Because he was only son, she was so much attached to his son, this boy, small boy. And she wanted to look after the maintenance of the boy, because naturally only one son is there, mother will be so much affectionate to the son. And this boy was just 5-year-old boy, and he was living in the Brahmana school, and he was completely dependent upon the affection of his mother. One day, his poor mother went out to milk a cow. by the will of providence, she was bitten by a snake and thus she passed away. Narada Muni didn't have anybody, any relatives, no friends, absolutely none. Only one mother, dear mother, she passed away. Nevertheless, Narada Muni took this passing away of his mother as the blessings of the Lord, special blessings of the Lord. Because Lord is always dear to his devotees. He wanted to do good for his devotees. People may wonder how Lord can be so cruel. This boy doesn't have anybody to look after him. He is after all 5-year-old boy. But God has taken away his mother. This is how people, common people, will criticize. But Narada Muni took this as a special blessings of the Lord. Therefore, he started proceeding towards north. Devotee consider every step in his life as a special blessings of the Lord. Whatever it may happen, he consider everything as a gift of God, mercy of the Lord. What is considered to be a difficult thing for a common people is accepted as a mercy of the Lord by the devotees. People cannot tolerate all this suffering, particularly only mother, she is passing away. They cannot tolerate. But devotees accept this difficult situation as the blessings of Krishna. Brahma offered wonderful prayers to Lord Krishna. There, it is there in the Bhagavatam. One of the prayers says, Tatte nukumpam susunikshamanu bunchana evatma kirtam ibakam Ridvak obabir vedadan namaste jivete yo mukti pade sa dayabak. Tatte nukumpam susunikshamanu. A devotee who earnestly, eagerly waits for the Lord to bestow his causeless mercy upon the devotee, all the while patiently suffering the reaction for all his past mistakes. At the same time, is engaged in devotional service with his body, mind and words. Such kind of devotee is surely eligible for going back home, back to God, because that has become his rightful claim. Any devotee, without blaming anyone, undergoes all the reaction to his past mistakes. At the same time, engage in devotional service is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. This statement of Bhagavatam should be the guiding principle for all the devotees. Every conditioned soul has to undergo suffering in this world. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidevika. No one should expect, because I have become a devotee, I should not suffer. Everyone has to undergo suffering. Not only conditioned souls undergo suffering, even the great liberated souls, exalted personalities like Prahlad Maharaj, Pandavas, even they underwent many difficulties in their life, challenges in their life. Nevertheless, they were completely confident that Lord will protect us. They were confident. They underwent all the sufferings patiently. At the same time, they had a complete faith that we will be able to overcome all the difficulties by the mercy of Lord. Such kind of devotees are sure to go back home, back to God. When we perform devotional service, when we discharge our devotional service, we'll have to face many challenges in our life. Sometimes family members may not cooperate. Friends and neighbors may not cooperate. God brothers may not cooperate. People may criticize for everything what we do. Instead of giving up Krishna consciousness, one who patiently suffers, undergoes all these things, at the same time engage in devotional service with the body, mind and words wholeheartedly, such kind of person is sure to achieve success in spiritual life. One should be patient. Dayabak means just like a son. Son lawfully inherit his father property. When father passed away, naturally son become lawfully he can inherit his father property. Similarly, a devotee who undergo all kinds of challenges while preaching Krishna consciousness, while practicing Krishna consciousness, patiently undergoes everything, all the sufferings, then is sure to go back to Godhead because it has become his lawful claim. Take for example Prabhupada. When he was a householder, his wife was not very cooperative. Even his children were not very serious in Krishna consciousness. Nevertheless, he practiced and preached Krishna consciousness. He was not encouraged to preach even in India. Therefore, he left for West on the order of his spiritual master to preach. In the beginning, he had to undergo so many tribulations, challenges, difficulties to establish. Nevertheless, he was very patient. Therefore, he could establish 108 temples across the world. So one should be patient. Although one may take the path of devotional service, he cannot achieve success quickly, but he should be patient. Rupa Goswami says, the Nectar of Instructions, there are 6 principles which are favorable to execute pure devotional service. What are the 6 principles? Utsaha, Nishchayat, Dhairya, Tat Karma, Pravartanat, Sangatyagat, Satovriti, Shadbir Bhakti, Prasidati. Utsaha, enthusiastic, being enthusiastic. Nishchayat, endeavoring with confidence. Dhairyat, patient. Tat Karma, Pravartanat, acting according to regulative principles like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. One has to chant, hear, engage in devotional service. There are regulative principles. Sangatyagat, one should abandon the association of non-devotees. Satovritti, following the footsteps of previous acharyas. These are the 6 principles which are favorable to execute pure devotional service. So, out of 6 principles, one principle is called Dhairya, patient. So, unless one is patient, one cannot achieve success in Krishna consciousness. In fact, this Krishna conscious movement was started by Srila Prabhupada single-handedly. No one was there to help him. He underwent severe hardships. But Prabhupada was patient. Every moment was given a lot of trouble. Nevertheless, remain patient. So success depends upon one's patience in Krishna consciousness. Because one has taken the path of devotional service, he cannot achieve success very soon. Because since time immemorial, we have been under the influence of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. That is there. All of a sudden, one cannot become free from this, all the enemies, Kama, Krodha, Mada, all, Lobha, everything. One should practice devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master and patiently wait for the result. So Prabhupada had patience. Therefore, he could establish many temples. Prabhupada also gives example, just like a person who gets married. A woman cannot expect child as soon as she gets married. She has to wait for 10 months. Similarly, a person who has taken initiation or one who has taken the path of devotional service, he cannot expect perfection immediately. It takes time. But one should be patient. Anyone who has got patient is sure to achieve success. So devotee means one should be patient while discharging his devotional service and undergo all kinds of suffering while performing devotional service and accept all the challenges, all the obstacles, difficulties as the blessings of the Lord. If anyone does, sure to go back home, back to Godhead. Narada Muni accepted his mother passing away as a special blessings of the Lord and started proceeding. He started walking, passed through many valleys, cities, towns, villages, mountains, jungles, many places. Finally, after walking very long distance, he was feeling thirsty. He was hungry and he saw there was a water. He went and took bath in the river and came and sat underneath the banyan tree and he began to meditate upon the super soul within his heart. He began to meditate as he received the knowledge from the Bhaktivedantas. Bhaktivedantas instructed how to see the Lord. So he exactly followed the same as he heard from the Bhaktivedantas. The moment he fixed his mind upon Krishna in his heart, immediately Lord appeared. The moment Narada Muni saw the form of the Lord within his heart, the beautiful form of the Lord within his heart, tears started flowing from his eyes. It was filled with full of bliss. It was floating in the ocean of bliss by seeing the form of Lord. And the next moment, because of completely being absorbed in the ecstasy, he could not see himself and Lord also. When he was not able to see the Lord, he was very much disturbed. Again he started closing his eyes and began to meditate. He could not see the Lord. He was very disturbed. The form of the Lord is not the same as the form of what we see of this material existence. The form of the Lord is spiritual. When one was seeing the form of the spiritual form of the Lord, is not attracted to any form of the material existence. Because Narada Muni, he saw the beautiful form of the Lord, he could not forget. He wanted to see the form again and again. He's not satisfied at all. We cannot see the form of the Lord through the mechanical process. One cannot see the form of the Lord through the mechanical process. One can see the form of the Lord only by the mercy of the Lord. If Lord is satisfied with this devotee, then he will be able to show his form to such devotee. It's completely depend upon the free will of the Lord. Lord is not obligated, even though one may be sincere, seriously practicing devotional service, doesn't mean that Lord has to show his form. People challenge, can you show God? One cannot see the form of God through his theoretical knowledge. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, don't try to see God, but act in such a way that God sees you. So through the process of the mechanical process, one cannot see the Lord. Although Narada Muni could see the form of the Lord through the mechanical process, but again he tried, he could not see. Lord is not obligated to show his form. He is completely independent. If he wants to show, he can show. If he doesn't want, he may not. So he tried many means, Narada Muni, but he could not. By seeing Narada Muni many times trying, his attempt is getting failed, Krishna, in his voice from the sky, spoke to Narada. Because it tries many times, but he could not see the form of God, therefore he was disturbed. The Lord spoke to Narada, my dear Narada, in this lifetime you will not be able to see me anymore. Those who are incomplete in devotional service, those who are not free from the material desires, cannot see me. Cannot? Those who are not fixed in devotional service, those who are got full of material desires, cannot see me anymore. Cannot see me at all. You have seen me only once. I wanted to increase your desire. Just to, I showed my form to you not to increase your hanker for me. The more you hanker for me, the more become free from all the material desires. Unless one hanker for Krishna, he cannot become free from material desires. Just like a gopis. When Krishna was dancing with the gopis during Rasa dance, he expanded himself as many gopis were there. He was dancing with all the gopis. All the gopis thought that Krishna is very much attached to me, is dancing with me. So by seeing the attitude of gopis, Krishna escaped, disobeyed all of a sudden. He took Radharani and went. So all the gopis were disappointed. They all started searching. Then Krishna went with Radharani. Radharani thought that, you see, Krishna left all the gopis because he has got special attachment for me. Therefore she requested Krishna, you take me to wherever you want. She felt that she is superior to all the gopis. Krishna understood this. Krishna disappeared there. Radharani felt very unhappy. So all the gopis started searching for Krishna. They are full of anxiety. They were anxious to see Krishna. Because Krishna disappeared, not to create anxiety, not to create the anchoring after Krishna. The more one hanker for Krishna, the more become fixed in devotional service. The more he become free from all the material desires. So when the gopis started searching for Krishna, Krishna was not visible. They started offering a prayers called Gopika Gita. It is there in the Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 31st chapter or 32nd chapter. There one of the prayers gopis prayed, Atatiyad Bhavan Agnikananam Truti Yugate Tvam Apashyatam. Gopis said, my dear Lord Krishna, when you go off to the forest in the morning, you will not be visible to us. Because Krishna morning time, he takes cows and calves to the forest of Vrindavana. The gopis will not have the opportunity to see Krishna. So even the moment, tiny fraction of second, it appears for us a millennium. Truti means 1 by 1800 seconds. It's called Truti. Even that one Truti appears for us tiny, means like a millennium. Tiny fraction of a second appears for us like a millennium. Because they are constantly observing Krishna. When Krishna will come, whole day, just imagine, one fraction of a second looks like a millennium. The whole day, how that state of mind, hankering. Krishna gives that hankering. so that they become purified. When you come back from the forest of Vrindavana to home, by seeing your beautiful form, we are so happy, we are so pleased. Our transcendental pleasure is hindered by the eyelids, which was created by the foolish creator. He did not think properly. Why? Eyelid is created. Because little we close eyes, that even that moment, we are not able to derive that pleasure by seeing your beautiful face. This is called Vipramba Bhava, like Rupa Goswamis and Sanatana Goswami. The Goswamis experience the Bhava, enjoying the transcendental pleasure by not seeing Krishna. Like Krishna was there in Vrindavana till the age of 11. After they went to Mathura to kill Kamsa, then he never went to Vrindavan. The gopis were very, very anxious. They were hankering after Krishna. They were completely absorbed in Krishna. Why? Krishna did not go? Because he wanted to create that bhava. The more one hankers for Krishna, the more one becomes purified. So Narada Muni got this instruction from the Lord. Then Lord said, my dear Narada, a devotee, even a few days, he practices a devotional service. He attains firm and fixed in me. A devotee even practices a devotional service even for a few days. He fixed in me. Such devotee, after giving up this material body, he comes to my abode and become my associate eternally. After speaking this to Narada Muni, Lord stopped speaking. Narada Muni heard everything from the Lord. He received the instruction from the Lord. Then, feeling sense of gratitude for Lord giving the knowledge to him, he offered obeisance to Lord Krishna. Then he started chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna everywhere, forgetting about all the formalities. The life of a sincere devotee is explained in a nutshell by Narada. After receiving the initiation from the Lord or from the bona fide spiritual master, one has to chant the holy name of the Lord, his pastimes constantly, forgetting about everything else, forgetting about the formalities of the world. The devotee, one who seriously taken the instruction of his guru, he keeps chanting everywhere. Wherever he goes, he chants the glories of God so that others will get the opportunity to hear and achieve perfection. The same kind of things was demonstrated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once there was a Mayavadi in Kashi named Prakashananda Saraswati. He had many disciples. He was a Mayavadi. He had thousands of disciples, many thousands of disciples. Whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dance, sing the glories of the Lord, chant Hare Krishna Mantra in the streets of Kashi, this news many people would follow. This news would reach the Prakashananda Saraswati. He started criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's a mad person. He has come here to sell his sentiment. He will not get any customer here. Because the entire Benares, Kashi was filled with Mayavadis. Therefore, he cannot sell his sentiment. He will not get any customer here. He will go away after some time. He was criticizing. There was one devotee. He was not very happy to hear this criticism of Prakashananda Saraswati, of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He came and told, my dear Lord, see, kindly save us. He and one more, Tapana Mishra, Chandrasekhar Acharya, they all came to the Lord and prayed to Lord, my dear Lord, we don't want to stay here. We want to go somewhere else, or we will give up our body. Because we can't hear this kind of criticism of your lordships. Because by seeing the devotees are suffering, Chaitanya Prabhu was moved. Therefore, to please his devotees, he want to convert this Prakashananda Saraswati. He want to transform this Mayavadi into a great Vaishnava. At the time, there was one Maharashtrian Brahmana came and invited Lord Chaitanya to his house for lunch. And he invited this Prakashananda Saraswati and other Mayavadis also. So Chaitanya went to his house and washed his leg. After washing his leg, he sat in the dirty place. He saw there are many Mayavadis. The leader of Mayavadi, Prakashananda Saraswati, was sitting. And Prakashananda Saraswati got up and said, "Oh, Holiness, why are you sitting in the dirty place? Please come and sit amidst us." Chaitanya Prabhu says, no, you are a high class sannyasis, whereas I am low class sannyasi. I am not eligible to sit with you great people. Then Prakashananda Saraswati got up and went and brought Chaitanya Prabhu by catching hold of his hand and made him to sit and asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I heard that you have taken initiation from the Keshav Bharati. Actually, you also belong to Shankara Sampradaya. So it's a duty of sannyasis to meditate. It's a duty of sannyasis to meditate and study Vedanta. Instead of studying Vedanta, why are you acting like a mad person? It's meant for sentimentalists, not for sannyasis. You're supposed to meditate and supposed to read Vedanta. Why are you doing this? Then Chaitanya said to Prakashananda Saraswati, even I wanted to read Vedanta, therefore I went to my spiritual master Ishwara Puri, asked him to teach Vedanta. My spiritual master said to me, Mukutumi Tomara Nayaka Vedanta Adhikara, Krishna mantra Japa Sada E mantra Sara. My guru told me, you are fool number one, you are Burka. What qualification you have got to understand Vedanta? Better you go and chant Hare Krishna. That is essence of all mantras. One can achieve the mission of human life if he simply follows the direction of spiritual master. This is called Shauta Vakya. Accepting the order of spiritual master without any deviation. If one accepts the order of spiritual master without any deviation, is sure to achieve success in spiritual life. Then after saying this, my spiritual master further told me, Namavinu Kali Kale Nai Ara Dharma Sarva Mantra Saranama E Shastra Marma. In this age of Kali, there is no better religious principles. Namavinu Kali Kale Nai Ara Dharma. There is no other dharma other than chanting the holy name of Krishna. This is the purport of all the scriptures. Ye Shastra Marma. Marma means purport of all the Shastras. Chanting the holy name of Krishna is the essence of all mantra. This is the essence of all the scriptures. After explaining the glory of this Hare Krishna mantra, my spiritual master taught me one more verse and told me to keep it on my throat. What is that? Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalau nasti eva, gadir anyata. In this age of Kali, there is no other way to achieve perfection. There is no other alternative. No alternative other than chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In this age of Kali, to make progress, there is no alternative other than chanting the holy name of Krishna. After receiving this order, I went home. I started chanting because my spiritual master told me to chant Hare Krishna mantra and started chanting. When I started chanting, I developed some kind of ecstasy. Tears started flowing from my eyes and started rolling down. And my hair starts standing on the end. So I developed I practically became mad. I became bewildered by chanting the name. So that once again I went to my spiritual master and submitted. My dear master, you told me to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. By chanting, I have become mad. Kipa mantra dila goshani, kipa tara bala. Chapite mantra karila pagala. My dear master, what kind of mantra you have given to me? By simply chanting this mantra, I become mad. After hearing this, my spiritual master was very much pleased with me and said, my dear child, it is the nature of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Anyone who chants this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he attains love of Godhead. He develops all the symptoms of ecstasy. Now I am pleased with you that you have become mad. Now I order you, you go and make everyone mad. Therefore, I do not care who likes or who don't like what they speak. I don't mind. Wherever I go, simply I chant and dance, ignoring all the formalities. Because he received initiation from his spiritual master, he ignored all the formalities, simply started chanting, dancing everywhere to make all the conditioned souls to become Krishna consciousness. Narada Muni also started chanting the holy name, ignoring all the formalities. Then after, by practicing devotional service, as told by Lord, Narada Muni met with the death, being completely absorbed in Krishna, becoming free from all the material desires. Narada Muni met with the death and said, I have been awarded the transcendental body after giving up the old one. At the end of the devastation, particularly there are two kinds of devastation, annihilation. One is at the end of the day of Lord Brahma, and second annihilation at the end of the lifetime of Brahma. Lord Narayana, Garbhoda Kashaya Vishnu, he lies down on the water of devastation. At the time Lord Brahma, all the material ingredients enters into the body of Garbhoda Kashaya Vishnu. At the time I also entered into the body of Lord Vishnu. Then Brahma, he sleeps for one night. The one daytime of Brahma is equal to 432 crores of years. Similarly, night time also 432 crores of years. So again Brahma, when he woke up, all the rishis, all the ingredients will come from the body of the Lord. So from the body of Lord Brahma, like Amarichi, Atra, Angira, Pulasya, Pulaha, everyone came out. Similarly, Narada also came out of the body of Lord Brahma. Since then, I constantly travel everywhere without any restriction, either in this material world or spiritual world. I keep traveling, singing the glories of the Lord. Always I sing the glories of the Lord with this instrument, because Narada Muni has got Veena. So using the instrument, he always sings the glories of Lord Krishna, because this instrument is filled with full of spiritual sound, which was given by Lord Krishna to Narada Muni. Therefore, Narada Muni always carries his Veena and constantly sings the glories of Lord. The moment I chant the glories of Lord Krishna, Lord immediately appears on the seat of my heart. The Lord is not different from his name, form, qualities. The moment a pure devotee chants the holy name, Lord appears in front of pure devotee. Only pure devotee, he can see the Lord through his transcendental eyes. Through his transcendental eyes. The Narada Muni explained, It's my personal experience. Narada Muni says, it's my personal experience. Those who are in this material world, who are full of anxious, full of anxiety, can cross over the ocean of material existence by constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. This material world is filled with full of anxieties. Padam padam idu vipadam. Every step there is a danger. If one wants to escape from the anxiety, what Narada Muni says, one has to take the process of chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If one takes to the process of chanting, he will be able to cross over the ocean of material existence and become the associate of the Lord. This is the instruction of Narada Muni to every one of us. The Narada Muni further says to Vyasadeva, it is true, by practicing yoga, one can conquer the disturbance of desire and lust. But this is not enough to give satisfaction to the soul. The soul is satisfied only by rendering a pure devotional service unto Krishna. The yoga process is meant to control the senses. The senses are like compared to venomous serpent, very dangerous. So how to control the mechanical process? Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, different kinds of process by which one can control. It's a mechanical process, but sometimes it will not work. It will not be fruitful. When there is a chance, senses immediately become active and create a disturbance. Just like Vishwamitra Muni. He went to a forest to practice yoga. He tried to control all the senses by yoga practice. He performed tapasya for 60,000 years. Indra was afraid. He sent Menaka. The moment Menaka came, he came out of his meditation and he had a relationship with Menaka. As a result, he begot Shakuntala. He fell down. He tried to control his senses by artificial means. But Narada Muni says, there is one more method which is easy and practical, the effective. How? Engage all the senses in the service of Mukunda, Krishna. When one engages all his senses in the service of the Lord, it's automatically controlled. Just like Haridas Thakur, he was chanting the holy name constantly. The dead of night, a prostitute, beautiful prostitute, came to Haridas Thakur, started displaying her femininely bodily features to attract the mind of Haridasa. He was a very young person, senses to be very strong generally during youth, a young woman, very beautiful, and she was displaying her feminine parts to attract the attention of this young boy. Nevertheless, he was undisturbed. Rather, he made the prostitute to become pure devotee. So when the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, then that will give happiness to the soul and will be able to conquer the material desire and lust. After speaking this to Vyasadeva, my dear Vyasa, now I explained everything to you about my birth and activities because you asked me to explain. Therefore, I explained everything to you. All this will be conducive for your satisfaction also. After saying this, Narada Muni took leave of Vyasadeva and wandered at his free will. Sutta Goswami was explaining to the sages of Naimisharanya about how Narada Muni explained his activities to Vyasadeva. Then Sutta Goswami concludes all glories and success to Narada Muni. Why? Because he constantly glorifies the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. By doing so, he enjoys unlimited happiness and also gives pleasure to all the distressed souls. All the distressed souls. Why? People are called distressed. They are not happy. Why they are not happy? Why they are suffering? The moment the jiva falls down from his position of being an eternal servant of Krishna, immediately is captured by the three modes of material nature. The moment he identifies himself with the body, he undergoes suffering. Sattvam rajas tamaidi guna prakriti sambhava nimanandi mahabaho dehi deyanam avyayam. Krishna says this material world consists of three gunas: sattva guna, raja guna, tama guna. The moment the soul comes in contact with these three modes, immediately he becomes conditioned. The soul becomes conditions. As a result, he identifies himself with the material body. Therefore, he undergoes only suffering. As a result of identifying himself with the body, he undergoes all kinds of material suffering. It is said, Anandamayo Vyasat. Anandamayo Vyasat. The soul is by nature joyful, blissful. Because he forgets about his eternal position, he comes under the control of material nature. The illusory energy of the Lord is so strong, even though hog lives in the filthy place, feels happy. Hog lives in the filthy place, feels happy. In this world, if you ask anybody, how are you? I am happy, I am fine, I am doing good, I am well settled. But actually no one is happy. Everyone is suffering due to Adhyatmika, Adibhautika or Adidaivika. Some sufferings they undergo. But we say we are happy. No. Everyone is suffering. When we go to mental hospital, we see the people. Somebody will be jumping, somebody is swimming on the floor, somebody will be rolling. Kind of symptoms of ecstasy. Jumping, dancing, rolling on the floor. These are called symptoms of ecstasy. When you go to ask the mad person, how are you? Say, I am fine. Feel like you are always happy. Jumping, dancing. But none of us want to become mad. Why? Because we are conscious that this person is abnormal. He does not know who he is. He does not know where he belongs to. He does not know who is his father. We all know. Doctor knows. None of us wants to become mad. Although he says he's mad, although he says he's happy, but none of us wants to become happy like him. Similarly, when the spiritualist sees the materialist are like a mad people. Because they do not know who they are, where they belong to. They do not know they are servants of Lord Krishna. They are supposed to live in the spiritual abode. They do not know. They think they are happy. It's all due to conditioning. Therefore, devotees like Narada Muni goes everywhere to preach them enlighten them in Krishna consciousness. On this context, I would like to narrate the story of narrated by Vidura to his brother Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was blind physically and even spiritually also, because he was very much attached to his sons, headed by Duryodhana. Because he was excessively attached to his son Duryodhana, therefore he sanctioned all the evil plans of Duryodhana. Duryodhana started putting Pandavas in always trouble. Although Dhritarashtra was sufficiently advised by Bhishma, Drona, Vidura, Maitreya, Vyasa, even Krishna himself, not to have war with the Pandavas, better go with the peace proposal, give them the 5 villages so that they will be happy. Dhritarashtra did not agree because Duryodhana wanted war, therefore he sanctioned. The war, all the sons of Dhritarashtra were killed by Bhima. Then finally, Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king, became emperor. Dhritarashtra lost all his sons, no property, nothing is there. No, he had to depend upon the mercy of Pandavas. Whatever Pandavas give food, he has to eat. Vidura, before the war, although he tried to advise his brother to go to make a peace proposal with the Pandavas, Duryodhana did not like. Therefore, he criticized Vidura and ill-treated Vidura, insulted Vidura by saying this is son of a Shudra who invited him to come and give advice. So Vidura felt humiliated, then he left. He did not want to take part in a war. He went on a pilgrimage. While he was on pilgrimage, he happened to meet Maitreya. He received transcendental knowledge. After receiving transcendental knowledge, immediately he remembered his brother Dhritarashtra, poor person. Because whenever Dhritarashtra was in difficulty, he would consult Vidura. Because he was attached to Duryodhana, he could not accept the advice of Vidura. No, son is not there. And Vidura wanted to deliver his brother. He came to Hastinapura and saw his brother. He was depending upon the mercy of Pandavas, whom he ill-treated. He wanted to somehow give him the knowledge of detachment, so that he'll get out of this attachment, comfort zone, go to forest, practice and get liberation. He told one allegorical story to Dhritarashtra. There was one Brahmana. He was in a forest which was dense, full of wild animals, and he was full of anxious. He was filled with anxiety because wild animals are there in the forest, and he understood that he cannot escape because the forest was surrounded by strong net, and he cannot escape from the forest. And there was a old woman, like a ghost, wearing white dress, outstretching her arm, asking him to wait. He was running out of fear. The forest, dead of night, he was running out of fear, and somebody is calling with a voice of like a ghost, means speaks how he feel. He was fully tensed. He wanted to save his life. He started running. While running, he did not see there was a pit covered by vines and creepers. He fell down in the pit. While falling down, his leg was entangled in the vines. As a result, his head was towards the pit and leg was entangled at the top. And he was hanging like a jackfruit. And he saw at the bottom of the pit there was a powerful snake, cobra, waiting. Very large, big cobra waiting when this fellow will fall down and bite. And just imagine that anxiety of the person. And again looked at the top of the hole. There was a mighty elephant standing there When he comes out, he'll be crushed. And he saw there was a bees, many bees hovering over the hole. There was a honey bee also from the branch of the tree. As a result, from that honey comb, there's a honey started dripping, and he was drinking, opening his mouth. His leg was the top, entangled in the vines, and he was opening his mouth and drinking little like this. And just imagine the situation. The fact is, in spite of all the difficulties, despite the suffering of the wild animals, the old woman and the snake at the bottom, and a powerful elephant at the top, and also his son, he noticed there were rats and eating the creepers that was plunging him down. If the rat eats that creepers, then he'll fall down. But he is not conscious of all the difficulties. He had a hope of maintaining his life by drinking this honey. The story indicates the pit is nothing but this material body. We have fallen into this pit. And the wild animals are diseases. The old woman called Jara, and the powerful snake at the bottom is a time. And the rats which are eating is a day and a night. So in spite of all these things, this person had hope to maintain his life by drinking the drops of honey. So one cannot be happy in this material world by enjoying the sense gratification. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Eisam Spusha Chabhoga Dukkha Yone Evate Adi Antavanta Kaunte Nateshu Ramate Buddha. The intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to the contact of senses with sense object. Intelligent people, they do not take part in the sources of misery. What is the sources of misery? Contact of the senses with the sense object is the sources of misery. Such kind of happiness have got Adi, Anta, Vanta, has got beginning and end. It's not permanent. Therefore, intelligent person does not take pleasure in sense enjoyment. Bias persasya asaktatma vindati apni etsugam. Sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukam akshayam ashnute. Krishna says, the person who is connected, sa brahma yoga yuktatma, who is engaged in devotional service, he enjoys unlimited pleasure within. So personalities like Narada Muni enjoys the pleasure by rendering devotional service unto Krishna, and they constantly travel everywhere to mitigate the distress of the people by enlightening them in Krishna consciousness. This is the summary of this 6th chapter. So thank you. Hare Krishna.